Hey folks, it's Jason Lewis, candidate for Johnson County Board of Supervisors. And I just wanted to stop in and really make my pitch for why I hope you'll go out and cast a vote for me. I've made these videos in the hope that I could connect with folks, that I could protest and persuade and discuss issues that matter. This campaign has been an incredible journey. I haven't really taken a day off since I started. I've been out in the community on every level, talking to as many people as I could get in front of, knocking on hundreds of doors. If there was a place to go and talk to people, I was there. Being out in the community like that and learning people's stories and sharing my own has helped me bear witness to just the amount of good there is in the world. Be the change you want to see. That's how the saying goes. I'm trying to be that change. So few people get out and vote in these local elections, and yet local elections are what really make impactful change in our lives. As little as 10% or so will go out and vote in this election. Are we willing to allow 10% of our community to make choices for 100% of us? If your answer is no, go out on Tuesday and vote. I've worked hard to hide behind nothing. I make no effort to be anything other than who I am. I'm a flawed but honest person who wants to serve our community. I talked about my background as an adoptee, as a child from a broken home, as a young man who watched his mother struggle to make ends meet on a secretary's salary when my father didn't pay child support. I've talked about my family's struggles with alcohol. I've talked about my own personal struggles with alcohol. I've tried to lay bare everything that there is to know about me so that hopefully I can build trust. I've talked about my passion for our children, both as a foster and adoptive parent, but also as a longtime education advocate and teacher. I've talked about our need to curb our tendency toward urban sprawl. The more we spread out into the county, building development after development, the less we will take care of what we've already built. I live in a place where 50 years ago it was the best that our community had to offer, and now it's been allowed to degrade. And we need to reinvest. We need to reinvigorate. We need to rehabilitate before we move further out and take over more farmland and take over more areas of natural beauty. I've said many times throughout this campaign that I'm not your typical political candidate. I was a punk rock kid that grew up and found himself as a husband and a father, facing injustices and difficulties and wanting to get out into the community and make change. I never ever envisioned myself in this role, doing this work. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a businessman, I'm a writer and a teacher and a musician. I came to this community 11 years ago to attend the Iowa Writers Workshop and get my graduate degree, and now here I am. This is my home. The Johnson County we live in now is much, much different from the Johnson County of previous decades. We need people who live in the 21st century, who exist in the 21st century and are willing to go out and find 21st century solutions to our problems. We don't need more leaders who are invested in the Johnson County of old. We don't need more leaders who are strapped to the status quo. We need people who are willing to break from the status quo and move forward. Because honestly, we are not doing everything we need to do for every member of our community. And until that is no longer the case, the status quo is not good enough. I don't have powerful friends. I don't have deep-pocketed donors. I've run a very frugal campaign out of necessity. I've tried to use every resource that I have to connect with voters, to let people know who I am, what I stand for, and why I'm asking for their vote. Now I need your help. I need you to get out on Tuesday the 7th. I need you to cast your vote. I need you to ask yourself, who among these individuals best represents the direction I hope our community takes? As I said, if only 10% of the people go out and cast their ballot, then we're allowing 10% of our community to make 100% of the decisions. Change only happens when the people who want change show up. I'm asking you to show up. The powers that be in our county have been at the controls of how things work for too long. You know, there's been some fuss about myself and other candidates talking about our support for Senator Bernie Sanders in the caucuses last February, and using that as sort of a bullet point on the resume for why I should be in your thoughts about this job. I'm not trying to conflate myself with Bernie Sanders or anybody else. Here's why my work for the Sanders campaign matters to me and really to the election on Tuesday. To me, Bernie Sanders' campaign is emblematic of a potential new direction in American politics. One that ceases to hide behind big money, goes back to its more populist roots. He's emblematic of the kind of politics that I want to see in our country and in our county. I want to bring that kind of politics to the Board of Supervisors. Be the change you want to see. If we don't outnumber them with our votes, then we'll get the status quo again. I need your help to keep that from happening. I'm asking for you to put your trust in me so we can work together to build a better Johnson County. One that's resilient, one that's representative, and one that's responsive. I'm asking you to trust in me to serve our community.